Where I start to feel disengaged is when there's not that clarity around those roles, because sometimes what ends up happening is you start absorbing more and more work because you're a performer. And then you start having this narrative of like, why am I doing this? Like, cool. Like if I work hard and I do a really great job, I can start absorbing other people's tasks and duties on occasion. And for me, that was a very frustrating experience. So again, I think that's something where if you have clear communication, clear onboarding, clear responsibilities, and all of that, duties, process, everything, then it's just like, okay, there's overlap here. This person's responsible. You're going to help them in this way. And I think it kind of clears up some of that confusion and just kind of messiness that you see sometimes in collaborative work. I don't know what you feel about that, but.
Oh, I think that's the essence of dysfunction that you're describing right there. It's without the clear system, without a system, there's no clarity in the role, right? And we can go back to either the job descriptions and things that we were talking about, but at the end of the day, that job description has to be implemented through a system, right? And if someone is taking on more roles or more responsibilities than someone else on their team, then we start to get, again, demotivated. Why am I doing all of this work? This person's getting paid just as much, maybe even more than I am, right? Because this person has higher seniority. And that causes a dysfunction because of the demotivation of, I'm doing more than they are. It's not fair. There's no system. There's no clear delineation of who's responsible for what, who owns this process, who's a key integral part of this process, and what they're supposed to produce, when, how many times, on what deadline, so on and so forth, right? If you leave those things open, then people start to have to fill in the gaps. And people who want to do a good job, right? Maybe sometimes it's the newer person. They say, all right, they'll fill in those gaps and let that other person sort of coast until they start burning out.